house and the people along the road. The house, these are two separate stories, but they both have something that is connected through my blood. When I was younger, my mother explained that one of my great-grandmothers was a Roma, or a European gypsy. Yeah, I'm related to Esmeralda. Anyway, when I was a sophomore in high school, my family and I were looking at homes because we were moving. This one home we went was nice, one-story home in a big open area. The previous owners had died and were eaten by their two Rottweilers. That's pretty brutal. We were walking around the property, and it was a nice day, warm, sunny, with a slight breeze. And I was just getting this feeling of something wrong. I don't know how to describe it other than saying that I felt as if we stayed there any longer, something bad would happen. By the time I managed to convince my parents to leave and we got into the car, I was all but in tears. My dad was yelling at me to stop crying and my mom was yelling at my dad to stop yelling. I don't really remember. All I remember is that I just wanted to get away from there. My sister and best friend at the time were both freaking out as well. I never looked back at that place, and I hope I never come across it again. The people along the road. I'm 19, and this year, a few months, my mom and I are on our way to a Dicker and Deal. I was going to be getting a laptop I had my eyes on for a while there. Anyway, where Dicker and Deal is placed is in the not-so-nice part of town. As we were driving, me and my mom noticed this couple. The man seemed really unsteady and was propped against a telephone pole. The woman seemed to be trying to prop him up and simultaneously yelling for help. I looked at my mom and she looked at me. Do we help them? I remember asking her. When you and I get the same feeling, I think we should, was her response. We pulled over and I went up to them and asked if they needed a ride. They said yes, and I began to clean out the back seat of our car, an old police vehicle. Now, I want you to understand that for my senior year of high school, I took a criminal justice course, and during it I learned a little bit about what drunks and junkies sound like. And the man was incredibly unsteady, sounded by no means drunk or high. As I was going back to help move them to the car, I heard them laughing. And I once again got that feeling of something incredibly wrong. The woman asked us to move the car around the street, and I get back to the car and tell my mom. As we're starting to do as they ask, I start shaking like a leaf and crying slightly because my gypsy is screaming that I need to get the hell out of there, and my body was trembling from fighting the flight instinct. My mom asked me if I wanted to go through with this, and I admit that I don't. I'm the type who generally wants to help and feels quite bad when I can't be of more use to help someone. My mom ends up calling the police and has some cops come to see about them, and we leave, but in the wrong direction. So we have to drive back by the end of the street they were on. When I looked out of some morbid curiosity, they were gone. As I had said before, neither of them reeked of drugs or booze, or even acted like they indulged in it. And the drive had only been about 10 minutes there and back of our driving error, so really they shouldn't have been able to move that fast, especially if the man was as physically unstable as he was acting. I don't know what happened to them or where they are now, but sir and ma'am, let's not meet again. It just shows that these days you have to be very careful about who you're going to help, who you can trust, who's really injured and hurting, or who just wants to take advantage of kindness.